I was diagnosed in July of 2021, and I had stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. And the strange thing is I had no symptoms. A lot of people are really surprised when I say that. And I honestly didn't know there was anything wrong with me, not to gross out your users or your followers, but the only symptom I had that led up to me going to the doctor is I couldn't go to the bathroom, which was unusual for me because I was very consistent all the time.
Okay.
And so I called my son that happens to work at the hospital where you live.
Yeah.
And I said, Victor, I can't go to the bathroom, and that's not like me. And he says, oh, Mom, you're probably, as you get older, people get impacted. Just go to Walgreens, pick this up, and it'll flush you out. And so that's what I did. But a couple days later, I still couldn't go to the bathroom. And as women, we know our bodies, and I knew something was wrong.
Wow.
So I immediately went to urgent care, and it was on a weekend. And I don't know if you've ever been to urgent care. I've been to urgent care many times in my life, and it's like an assembly line. Okay, here's your prescription, next. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And so the doctor says, well, your son was right. As we get older, our bodies change. He says, I take Metamucil every day just to keep everything going. So he's sitting there and he's going to prescribe me Metamucil. And
you guys, it's
yes,
not normal.
and
you need something to go to the bathroom. That's, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So he was writing the prescription for Metamucil, and he stopped when he was writing. And I thank God for that to this day.
Wow.
He says, I'm looking at your records, and you've never been sick. You're not even on any medication. You don't have diabetes. I have nothing. I've always been very healthy. Yeah. He said, let's just run some blood work and make sure that everything's okay. Wow. So they took a bunch of blood, and that evening before urgent care closed, he called me and he said, I need you to go to your doctor immediately. He says, I don't want you to wait a month. I need you to go in immediately. And he wouldn't tell me why. So Monday, I called my primary doctor and I told him what the urgent care doctor said. And the secretary said, I'm sorry, Lynette, he doesn't have any appointments available for like 3-4 months.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, no, that's not going to work. We need to get in right away. And I've said already that God was in this whole journey from the very beginning with the urgent care doctor to when I called my primary doctor, because my daughter-in-law happens to work in that office. And I called her when the girl said they couldn't see me, and she says, oh, no, Mom, we're going to get you in here today. So I went into the office today. My doctor ran all kinds of blood tests, his own tests.
Thank goodness.
And then he called me a couple days later. I had an MRI. I had all that stuff done, PET scan. And he called me at 7:30 in the evening. And I looked at my husband because I had him on speakerphone. I told my husband, this isn't good, because my doctor never calls me after hours. And he says, Lynette, I'm sorry to tell you, your scans came back and you have cancer. And when I heard that word, I looked at my husband and it felt like a truck hit us, because no one on either side of my family had cancer at all. I mean, my mom's 87 and she's a picture of health. My grandparents died in their hundreds. We've never had anything like that.
Yeah.
And so fast forward.
So what scans, what all did they do? So you said they did it was the blood, right?
Yeah, they did blood tests, and then I was sent in for an ultrasound, and they saw a mass on my ovaries, but they didn't know what that mass was.
Okay.
So then I had to go and do a scan, an MRI. So this is what the mass was. And they initially thought it was ovarian cancer, because it turned out I had a 12-centimeter mass on my ovaries. But when I had the biopsies in my breasts and my abdomen, they determined it started in my breast, metastasized to my ovaries.
Okay. Wow. No family history.
Yeah. Yes, no family history. So once I was diagnosed, I asked her, how much time do I have? Because I had it in my breast, my lungs, my stomach, my ovaries, and my bones.
Wow.
And when they looked at the scan, they're showing me the whole scan. And my sister's a registered nurse, and she was with me. And she didn't say anything to me, but she went home and told one of her other friends, and she showed her pictures of the scan, and her friend told her, just make her comfortable.
Wow.
And I, even the doctor told me my scans are not the scans of someone that lives. So anyway, it was horrible. And that's when I started looking into the natural remedies, and I started taking like the Soursop initially. And as I kept doing research, I found so many things that people were taking that were helping with their cancer, and different things on the NIH website. Apricot kernels was known to kill cancer in mice, it said, but it never went to human trials. And you and I are smart enough to know why it didn't go to human trials.
Right.
So anyway, then I started incorporating more things. So then I decided to go cold turkey, and I told God, literally, this was my prayer. I said, I am going to do the natural remedies. Either you heal me with the things you created or take me home.